Welcome to Renewed and Radiant for women over 40 who are ready to own their power, prioritize their wellness, and design a life they love. I'm your host, Elsa Martin, and I'm here for the real, raw conversations that we all crave. Whether we're talking healing, hormones, purpose, or pleasure, nothing is off the table. So grab your tea, your journal, or just your earbuds, and let's dive into the empowered, vibrant life that is waiting for you, because your next chapter starts now. Today's guest is incredible, and I just have to tell you that you are going to want to lean in on this one, my friends, because this is good. We got a world changer on here today. He is an amazing speaker. In fact, he's been on the same stage as John Maxwell. He is such a motivator. You can't watch his content without being motivated and wanting to do something bigger in your life. He's a catalyst for helping people change their lives and achieve their goals. So that's one of the reasons why he's on here. We're incredibly blessed to have him here today. Let me tell you, he actually turned down an interview for the New York Times, but he's here on Renewed and Radiant. So, hey, this is good. I'm just going to share a little bit of his bio. Brodie is an international leader in personal branding and digital marketing strategy. At the age of 19, he launched his brand agency where he developed brands and marketing strategies for New York Times bestsellers, TEDx speakers, top-rated podcasters, and thousands of thought leaders all around the world. He's originally from a ranch, also here in Canada. Brodie and his family have amassed over 100 million views through social media and TV, where they showcase their rural and business lifestyles. So to date, Brodie has actually helped tens of thousands of entrepreneurs in 70 plus countries to build, launch, and scale their brand through his courses, online platforms, and his podcast, Branded. Now, I want to just share this quote from him so that you will know exactly why I invited him on here. This is his quote: "I'm going all in, and I'm bringing everybody with me that wants to join." Yes, hallelujah. Welcome, Brodie Pierson. It is so good to have you here with us.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm grateful to be on here, and it's so cool. We've known our families each other for years, so I've watched you build and create and really show up big too. So I'm just honored to be here, and thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, so great. Okay, Brodie, I'm all about the real and the raw conversations here. So I want to hear your story. Like, what got you to what you're doing now? Why are you so passionate about what you do?
Yeah, so as you said, I grew up on a ranch, actually very close to Elsa, which is pretty cool. So we have that connection. But the closest grocery store to our family is 45 minutes away. I always tell people that story. The school that I went to had 60 kids in it, kindergarten to grade 12. I was the only person in my class. And I always tell people that story because I believe that if I can build and create brands online, anybody can. It does not matter where you come from. It does not matter where you're at. We have so much power just in our hands right now, especially with free platforms, AI, all the amazing things that we have access to. But when I was 19 years old, I decided to start posting content online. And that was back in the day when Facebook was really starting to grow and take off. And I started creating videos and doing that. And honestly, a lot of people were like, what the heck are you doing? Why are you posting these silly videos? It seems so random. But what was super cool was it was allowing me to reach people outside of our rural area. And I thought, dang, this is amazing. And so my oldest sister, Lorraine, she's incredible businesswoman as well too, was going to a bunch of these events all around the world with online creators. And she was showing me what you can build and create online. And so what was super cool is at the time I owned that content agency. So Lorraine said, hey, I'm going to these cities. Want to come with me? Because people need content for sales pages, Instagram, Facebook. And again, this is all still pretty new. I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing, but let's do it. And so that's where my content agency started launching. And then that opened up a whole new world for myself because I seen the possibility of people building very successful businesses and personal brands online and selling digital products, selling services, selling products. It was absolutely wild. And so my life that day was forever changed. And so from the age of 19, I just started building and creating online. And a lot of people made fun of me. A lot of people said, what the heck are you doing? Now people come to me all the time and say, hey, well, how do I build this business? Or how do I do this? But that's when I started, is really just starting on Facebook and showing up. And then that kind of started my career.
I love that. I've already got a couple takeaways, Brodie. Number one, step out, even if you feel like you don't know what you're doing, no matter what it is. Get the help, get the support, and step out and do it. And then number two, not worry about what other people think or what they're saying. Because like you said, now they're coming to you asking for advice and help.
Totally. And I think that's the biggest thing I see with people is all of us have such power on our hands. All of us have gifts, talents that we can bring into the marketplace. And again, back in the day, even 10 years ago, we did not have the opportunity that we do now, but you can create any business. I have seen, the wildest businesses get created off of people's passions. But the biggest thing that people holds them back is, what will other people think of me? What will people say of me? And can I really do this? And for me, that's why I show up every single day is like, hey, if I could do this, I don't have the answers. I still don't have it figured out. I still make mistakes, but I still show up every single day. And if you help one person every single day and do that for years and years, you'll build a massive business, massive impact, and create whatever it is that you want to create.
And isn't that awesome that what we're doing is helping people? We're so blessed to be able to help people and to get that reward of just seeing their lives be changed. Like that is so incredible.
Yeah, I always say to people, I think a good life is measured based on the impact that you make on people's lives. So I think that's the cool thing is if you focus on impact, and the rest will fall in place. You'll build successful businesses, or you'll help someone out, change someone's life. And I think at the end of the day, that's what life's all about.
Absolutely. Okay, so here you are, you're at these events doing photography, that kind of content creation. Where did it go from there?
Yeah, so I started doing that, and I showed up, and I was honest with people too. By the way, just so you know, you don't always have to feel like you have it all put together. I was honest with people. I said, "Hey, this is my first time doing this. I'm hungry. I've studied this, and I did a lot of my research and homework behind that." So I always say to people, you don't have to have all the answers, but if you show up with energy and an attitude of excellence, that's something that our parents taught us of just showing up and giving it your all. And so it was super cool. Again, it's wild how things work out. So one of my first clients actually was in Florence, Italy, and she owned a multi-million-dollar magazine publishing company, which was wild. So here's me from the little ranch kid out there just like going through this. And I was like, okay, well, I'm working with this multi-million-dollar publisher from Australia. Okay, I mean, this is going to be a massive opportunity. And so again, I showed up with energy. I showed up with an attitude of excellence, and it worked out incredibly. And so that one connection there completely exploded my business. And so then people started seeing, oh, you work with her. And then I'm creating content, still posting online. And then that led me to traveling all over Canada, USA, Europe, working with the wildest people, like a lot of your favorite podcasters you see, a lot of your favorite personal brands that you see who have multi-million-dollar business, $10 million plus businesses. And so that's just where it kind of went from there, is just through referrals, showing up with good energy, showing up with, again, that attitude of excellence. And then, of course, building that brand online, because again, you can reach the world. I don't think people have fully grasped that yet, is you are not limited to your local market. You can reach anywhere in the world, Canada, USA, Asia. I do business with people in Asia now. It's like wild. So that's where it kind of all snowballed and really got me into my career of speaking. And people are asking, how are you building your brands online and developing product lines and whatnot? So that just kind of snowballed into everything. Because again, possibility is endless in the online space.
There we go. Show up as your best version and show up with excellence, because you never know. We never know what is going to happen. I mean, I pray almost every day for divine opportunities. And, we never know when that's going to come. But showing up as your best version, showing up with excellence, that's what's going to set you apart as well. I love that. Thank you for that. This is so good. All right. Tell us specifically, what are some of the things you do if someone needed help with online branding or different things that you do? Explain that to us.
Yeah. So I always say to people, it's so funny because when people always ask me, hey, what do you do for a living? I'm like, well, do you want the short answer? Or do you want the long answer? But what I always say to people is if you have a product, service, or idea and you want to bring it online, one of the best ways that you can do that is by building your personal brand and documenting that. Documenting all the things and sharing content around your expertise, what you love. And so what people come to me for is they come to me and say, hey, I have this product service idea. I want to launch it in the marketplace. How do I put a marketing system behind that so that I can market it not only locally if it's more of a bricks and mortar business, but also around the world if you want to reach a global market? So that's what I help people do. I help people scale brands online, product services, personal brands.
Everybody should be building a personal brand nowadays, I believe. It's huge.
If you don't have a personal brand, mark my words, in the next 10 years, if you don't have a personal brand, does not matter if you're a bricks and mortar business, if you have a big business already, The founder-led brands, if you look at all the billion-dollar businesses getting created right now, from Mr. Beast all the way to Gary Vee, like all of those types of people, all of them build their personal brands. And the cool thing, what I've discovered, because I have multiple companies that I run now, is I've been able to build my personal brand. So if I want to go into a product space, I have a supplement company, right? I can go into that. If I want to launch something new, if I want to launch a podcast, I mean, the opportunities that it'll bring you not only for business deals, but also for network expansion is bar none. And so I think for anybody in the business space, or if you're wanting to even grow in your career, maybe you have a job right now, massive opportunity to create content in there and elevate your job skills. And that's going to bring you new opportunities in the job force as well too.
Yeah, for sure. Even if someone, is working for someone else, they're an employee, you can use that and use content to get you a promotion, to go to the next level.
I see it all the time. Something that all people I'm hoping are starting to realize now since 2020, I think it's become a lot more common and people are starting to catch on to it. If you have a job, one of the best things you can do to skill up is start creating content around your position or your area of work. And I'm telling you, the opportunity that will come from that with promotions or delving into new areas is absolutely wild.
Yes. And I think that's not a thing a lot of people have thought of yet. So I love that we're having this conversation. This is amazing.
I love it. Yeah, no, and that's the thing. It's still early on. I think some people might think like, hey, I'm late to the game or I'm not quite there yet. I mean, we're just 10 years into this where this really has starting to get going. The next 10, 15 years, I'm really excited for what we call the creator economy. It's only going to grow. It's supposed to double in the next 3 to 4 years. So there's a lot of money flowing and a lot of opportunity flowing there as well too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Brodie, then down that path, if someone said, this is new to me, what are you even talking about? So I make videos, post them. What would you say? What would be a good first step for someone like that says, yeah, you know what? I do want to do that. I do want to build my personal brand. Where do I start?
Yeah. So I always say to people, the best way to start is from your experience. So there's going to be kind of 2 buckets. Okay. There's going to be someone who's gone through experience. So maybe you've experienced things in your life and you've had expertise, or you have something that you love and you went on a journey and you've gone steps 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. You can document and share your experiences from that journey. That's one of the simplest ways to do it. Number 1 is, hey, you have expertise in something. So for me, I had an expertise in teaching people how to build brands online. So then I started talking about that, right? For you, you've had expertise in the health and wellness field and you have your training and your experience through that. And then you share your insights on that. Okay. So that's kind of bucket number 1. Bucket number 2, maybe you're brand new to this game. I think we're in such a cool era right now is you can actually document your process of learning something or learning a skill and share your insights on that. So example, a really cool one I've seen is, and it can be physical location or online. Like example, I seen a bricks and mortar business here in Alberta. This person bought it. He said, I've never done a bricks and mortar business here before. I'm going to document every single day of what it looks like to take this and turn this into a business. Not only now has his bricks and mortar business really growing, he now has a whole online presence and a whole brand on that as well too, right? Or I've watched people in their health journey, for example. Maybe they don't have it all figured out yet. Guess what? There's somebody out there in the world of 7 billion people who are going through the exact same thing as you. So you can document that journey. Maybe you want to document, hey, day 1 of me, losing my next 10 pounds, or day 1 of me like learning about how to eat healthy again and documenting that. So really those 2 buckets of just sharing your life. And I know it sounds wild, but just by sharing your everyday life of the things that you're going through, that will build your brand. That is more than enough in right now and going forward.
Yes, and it helps people get to know you. And what I find is when ladies come to me, they most often feel like they're the only ones that has struggled, or they're embarrassed to share about it, that kind of thing. In none of anything that we're doing, are you ever the only one or the only one that has struggled or that's scared to do that. But like back to what you said before, stepping out, even though you didn't have it all figured out, even though you were scared, and even if people are saying, negative things about it, you can step out and take that step towards your goal. And it's incredible how God will use our journey to lead us to our destination if we let him. And by sharing that, I feel like it's somewhat selfish of us if we don't share our journeys and share our struggles, because it's like we're keeping it to ourselves when really that's where people can see us and recognize that, hey, I'm not alone. And it brings them hope by seeing that we've also struggled, still are many days, but still we're pressing through and carrying on. And that's what brings the hope and encouragement, I believe.
1,000%. It'd be shocking because, again, I have multiple different businesses and companies I run, from health and wellness to business. The amount of people that I don't even know in person at all, I've never met them before, but I share a story or share something that I'm going through. The amount of people that will share some of, they're like, I've never shared this with anyone before, but insert whatever it is, right? And it's wild to me. I'm like, hey, just so you know, you're not the only one. And so I think we're in such a cool generation. I think this younger generation also loves to share. I always say, it's like, everyone, if you want to find something out, just go to TikTok or go to YouTube and search it up, right? There will be a tutorial on it, or someone will have an opinion on it. But I think there's such an opportunity that all of us have, because, again, you are not the only one going through a pain, a struggle, or a victory, and other people will always learn from it. And so I think the opportunity you have, if you're someone who really wants to make an impact, there's so much opportunity you have with that.
Absolutely. And not just online. We can do this when we're having conversations with people too, in person, to share and to be open about what you're going through and your struggles, and allowing them the freedom to share with you too. It has so much impact on people. So this works both. It's for online as well as in person.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's the cool thing. I think, again, if you start kind of thinking of this, I think for a lot of people, it might feel vulnerable at first to share in person. But if you start thinking of, like, the amount of people that I can impact with that, and like you said, it doesn't matter where. I say every room you walk into, you have the opportunity to share and impact someone's life. So whether it's going into the gas station or a restaurant, or whether you're pressing live on Facebook Live, it does not matter. You have the opportunity to make an impact.
Absolutely. That is so true. Yes, yes. And it's up to us if we choose to use that opportunity or to let it slip by us. But life is all about relationships and who we can help and impact. So that's the most important part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So good. All right, Brodie, what do you want to share today as far as your 3 takeaways that you hope people are going to leave this podcast with today?
Yeah, well, the first thing that I always say to people is, if doesn't matter strategy, doesn't matter everything, is if you could leave this podcast knowing that you have a gift and value to bring to the world, and you can bring it to the world. I think that's the number one thing that I want everyone to know. If you have an idea, whether it's, a clothing line, or whether it's to start a health coaching business, or whether it's to join a network marketing company, or whether it's to launch a digital product, or whether it's to do something in AI, it does not matter. The opportunity that you have, first, you have to believe in yourself. That's the first thing, and you have to want it so bad, and you have to really have such a vision so big that doesn't matter what people are going to say, because people will say things. There will be darts that will get thrown with you. I get darts thrown at me probably every 20 minutes right now with all the companies that I run. But I always say, successful people just recover quick, right? All of us, every single person goes through stuff. You'll have darts thrown at you, things said to you, but successful people recover quick. That's it. They can take something and recover within 5 to 15 minutes. So the first thing is the belief of that. The second thing is the action. I think way too many people in this world right now expect results from something in your first 30 days, your 60 days, your 90 days. I always say to people, show up for 3 to 5 years and you'll thank yourself for that. 3 to 5 years of really showing up and building and creating whatever it is that you want to create. I'm telling you, your first 2 years are probably going to be rough. Your third year, you're like, this is going to get a little bit better. Year 4, you're like, okay, I got to hold this. Year 5 is when things really start to take off. And then years 5 and beyond is wild. And I can say that because I've worked with tens of thousands of businesses. I've seen into that. And so if you can really believe in yourself and really have that 3 to 5 year vision. And then the third thing I always say to people is, if you ever feel stuck, or if you feel like you're stagnant in a spot, go back to impact. Right. One of my really good friends, Brooke Thomas, she always talks about that on the times that she feels stuck. She always asks herself, okay, well, where am I lacking where I feel impact right now? So is it to give more, right? Is it to whatever that is for you? And so those would be the 3 things that, if I look back at my business journey, just believing in yourself, showing up for those 3 to 5 to 10 years and knowing that's what it's going to take. And then really, if you ever feel stuck, going back to impact and getting reignited, that will keep a cycle going for you that you'll always be able to build. You'll always be able to create. And then you'll realize that anything you put your mind to, you can really show up, scale, and help a lot of people.
So powerful. All right, Brodie, what's one simple action step? Because I believe the people that are listening have goals. They have things they want to achieve.
Yeah. So this is the cool part of the time that we live right now. So if you have something that you want to build and create, what I would do is I would go to ChatGPT, which, if you don't have ChatGPT, I would 10 out of 10 recommend it, that using AI, but I would go to ChatGPT and I would say, hey, I'm very passionate about blank. Please direct me on my next steps of what I should do. And so a couple different things that will give you your first steps. But number one, if you want to do something, I always say to people, the way to fast track that is find someone doing what you want to do and go either pay and invest to learn from them or get into their space. The reason that I've been able to build successful businesses at such a young age is because I've surrounded myself with people with high net worth since the age of 19. So I can talk like this and have this confidence because I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into being into those rooms. Okay. Now, again, nowadays we have YouTube, we have podcasts, we have ChatGPT, like that will help. But if you want to go next level with that, but that would be my next step is take whatever it is that you want to build and create, ask ChatGPT your next steps or people to follow and integrated with, and that will really help you kind of get into that mindset. And then the only way you can do something is by starting. So if you sit there and wait a year, the time is going to pass. So the best way to actually build and create something is starting. You're not going to have all the answers. You never will. Even if you think you do, you'll get hit with the dart and you'll have to pivot. So that would be my best advice right now is we live in a time of AI. Go to AI, ask it, and then start.
Yes, that is excellent. And learning from other people is so powerful because it can save you so much time and so much money. But trying to figure it and stumble along on our own, trying to figure it out. But when you find someone like yourself, like myself, that has done the thing, whatever that is that you want to accomplish, find someone that's done it, has done it well, and follow them, pay attention to them. Like you said, get in the room with them. That is excellent. I love that.
Yeah, what I think, and the big thing too, I always say to people is so many people take advice from people that they wouldn't trade lives with. So if you wouldn't trade lives with their health, their relationship, their money and their finances, one of the areas, don't take their opinion. I say that and I'm pretty strong in that because I think so many people go to start something. And again, the people that you love want to keep you safe. The biggest thing that I've noticed is, and I say to people, okay, if I'm going to let this person speak into my life, would I trade bank accounts with them? Would I trade relationships with them? Would I trade my faith with them? Like how they're living every single day. And so that's also a big part of that as well too. So again, surrounding yourself with good people who are going to speak life into you and possibility, that is one of the most important things that you can have in your toolkit.
Absolutely. And yes, we can get so hung up on the opinions of others, but that is some of the best advice is to, okay, take a look at their lives before you get so hung up on the advice that they're giving or a comment that they've made. Take a look. Like you said, would you trade lives with them? Are they accomplishing what you want to? Do they have the life you desire? Because if not, then you probably need to dismiss that and recognize that it's not for your best.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, this has been amazing. I just love to do a few rapid fire questions, Brodie, just to help us get to know you a little bit better. Before I do that, though, let's just take a minute and I just want to recognize the amazing accomplishments that you've achieved, the amazing work that you are doing in the world. I really appreciate that. And just, hey, you are definitely a world changer and you are young. I just can't wait to see all the things that you fulfill and that happen through you and with you. So this is awesome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I love what you're doing. I mean, this podcast is amazing. And I just know before we got on here, it's like the cool thing about podcasting is people can listen to this, for years and years. And so I think I'm so excited for you and your direction of the show and all the people. So thank you for having me on.
Yeah, my pleasure. Okay, here we go. Rapid fire question. Favorite place you've ever traveled to? And I know you've traveled lots, so.
Yeah, this question is always a tough one for me because I'm like, it depends on what you like. But I always say for me, a place that I love to travel that I would go actually live in would be Florence, Italy. That's one of my favorite places. So that's kind of how I would consider it. What would be my favorite would be the place that I could see myself living, Florence, Italy.
Awesome. Sounds amazing. Favorite healthy food?
Love myself a good steak. I'm big into the high protein right now. So good steak and asparagus, that would be my favorite.
And they go well together. They work well together in your body. I love it. Yeah. What's something we may be shocked to know about you?
Good random fact. When I was 18, I got certified diver. So I'm a certified scuba diver. I got certified in Thailand. So I always tell people, if you want to go on a good dive, I can go out with you and we can do shipwrecks, all that.
So cool. Amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I love this. Okay. So before we finish today, I like to have each guest share a question for the next guest. Even though you don't know who it is, what's a question that you would like to present to the next guest that comes on, and they will answer it when they're on?
Yeah, I love this. So I always find when I listen to podcasts or watch interviews of people, I always like the parts of when people have gone through something. So my question would be to the next guest, what has been one of your hardest things in your business or your career? And what was 1 to 2 things that you did to move through that?
Great question. Oh, I can't wait to hear it. That's amazing. Okay, here's your question from the last guest. What is one habit that you plan to implement within the next 6 months?
I love it. So cool. 2025 has actually been a year of habits for me. So that's actually one of my words of this. So for me, one of the best things, because I travel a lot and do a lot of those things. So for me, I would say I've adopted 4 core habits that have completely changed my life. Making sure I get my 10,000 steps in every single day. Protein first off the plate, which has been cool. Been loving that. I've been doing weights 3 times a week, and then I have supplements that I take just on my regimen. So for me, I'm not going to start anything new because I've just been sticking to that for the last 6 months, and that's been game changer to me. And so that for me is when I feel good with my energy and my health, then I can show up as a higher level in my leadership and in all my businesses. So I'm just going to stick to those, nothing new, but just keeping those 4 core habits have been really, really important and has helped me so much through this last year.
Tell us, how has it helped you? Because that I'm all about those 4 things.
Yeah, so I think so often in life we can get so busy. All of us have busy schedules, right? Everyone's busy. One of my least favorite excuses of people is saying, "Oh, I'm busy." I'm like, "Yeah, everybody's busy." And so I was finding myself actually using that excuse though in 2024. I was busy and I was not prioritizing health and wellness. And so I would go on these trips or I go speaking or I mean, it was wild. I had one of the craziest travel schedules of my life, but I found my habits completely slipping. And I would get back and from a trip or back from something and then get back into something, into a routine, and then go back. So going into 2025, I actually was the most inflamed, the most bloated, not feeling my energy at all. So I was like, okay, well, what's got to change? Because I still have a busy travel schedule. I still have things going on. And so I said to myself, what are 4 simple things that I know I could do every single day? Doesn't matter where I'm at in the world, doesn't matter what I'm doing, that I can do these within an hour. And so for me, I've just noticed such a major difference. The 10,000 steps, huge. Moving your body for your mental health, but also for your physical health, wild. For me, again, I was eating out all the time and I still do. But what I wasn't doing was I was not prioritizing my protein intake. So for me, that was a really cool realization because I would eat all the other stuff and then eat the protein last. But now I've just switched it. A very simple habit anybody can do. Literally eat your protein off your plate first and watch what happens. It's wild. And then, yeah, the other things just kind of fell into place for me as well, too, is just making sure I have my good supplement routine. And then I know I can lift weights. Doesn't matter where you're at in the world, 3 times a week. So that for me has just been a game changer. And it's made a world of a difference in my inflammation and how I feel and how I show up.
And isn't that powerful that it's the small things when you do them consistently, that's what adds up to the results.
Yeah, it's wild again, and it's one of those things. I don't have this like crazy, like drastic weight loss or anything, but I look back in the last 8 months, and I've never been more lean. My energy's at a all-time high, but it's just from doing those small things and just not wavering. And have I fallen off on them some days? Yes, but guess what? I know I can go back to those 4 simple habits. So that has been game changer for me.
You say game changer. How has that, which sounds very physical, how has that impacted your life?
Yeah, I always go back to this. How you feel mentally will start to feel how you feel physically, right? So if you're feeling not good mentally, right? All of that, it all starts in your mind. So for me, I knew mentally that I was drained. I knew mentally that I was exhausted. I knew mentally if I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, I look inflamed right now, right? Especially for me, because I'm on camera all day, every day. Like I'm on stories, I'm on all that. So I can notice, right? And I see that every day. So for me, it was just a game changer because I started just saying, hey, if I do these 4 things every single day, number 1, I can feel accomplished, which will allow me to move into that other thing. So that was number 1. It kind of gets the ball rolling. If you're looking at goal achieving and success and all that, lots of really cool studies behind that. But that was the first thing. The second thing is just, again, how you feel, because when I'm having conversations like this. Like I could do 8 of these Zooms back to back and still feel good at the end of the day. So just having the energy to sustain the impact that I want to make, that's what I mean by game changer.
Amazing. And there's so much power in keeping your word to yourself. That builds the self-confidence, and you show yourself, hey, I actually do keep my word. You're way more likely to reach goals when you start with small things like that, first working on ourselves to accomplish those goals.
Yeah. The highest form of self-love is doing what you say that you're going to do. That's what I say to people all the time. Because a lot of people like to say that they're going to do something or going to do this. Very few people actually do it for an extended period of time. And there's a reason why there's only 1% of people have 6-packs, 1% of people make $1 million, 1% of people. So if you want to be in that, even in the top percent of the world, keeping your word and being in integrity and doing what you're saying you're going to do, that is the best thing that you can ever do for yourself.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. So good. And it affects you. So then it affects your business. It affects your relationships. Everything that you're involved in is affected, whether you've kept your word to yourself or not.
Exactly.
Excellent. All right, Brodie. Thank you for this. Tell us, where can people find you if they want to learn from you, pick up on this amazing energy that you have and hear more wisdom from you or work with you? Where can they reach out to you?
Yeah, I'm on social media at Brodie Pierson, Brodie, and then Pierson. And then I actually have a podcast too that will be relaunching called the Branded Podcast. So that's on all streaming platforms. But Instagram is where I hang out the most and on my stories every day. So if you like this, you'll like my wild travels, and that's where you can find me.
This has been fantastic. Thank you so much for this. Thank you for the encouragement, for the takeaways, for the practical step that people can actually take right now to get going, and for sharing your story with us. I really appreciate this, Brodie. Thank you for being here, and have an amazing day.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me today on Renewed and Radiant. I hope today's conversation sparked something in you, a shift, a question, or even a bold new intention. If you loved this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another amazing woman. Until next time, stay strong, stay empowered, and keep showing up for yourself. Because you, my friend, are just getting started on designing a life you love.